So when I was arrested and taken to jail for trespassing on my own property, even though that I was invited there, text message to prove it, all these investigators were around. All these, I couldn't get a cop to take a report on my when I had a break-in at my house right after all this crap went down, and I left the house, moved out or whatever. I had another place to stay. It was my wood lot where I keep all my work stuff. Now, I grew up around here. This is my hometown. So it really hits home when I come home and open up a business in the same week and start committing crimes at 37 years old. That does not make a damn bit of sense to me. In fact, none whatsoever. And I just want to say there was no domestic violence, period. I would sit on my hands before I ever even bothered with any of that. But this woman provoked me to wrath. She brought other men in the midst of this stuff in the middle of the night, whatever, when I was there, and would have them come through the door. Well, at one point, I would have, if it had been any other circumstance, I don't know anybody that wouldn't have, having some strange man walk through your front door at 12:30 at night, okay? But what happened to me was a divine intervention. It was like a beam of light. And you know what? It was the best thing that ever happened to me, because it kept me from hurting people. And it also made me realize that this woman was trying to get me hemmed up with the law. Nothing better would she have loved more than to put me in jail for assault, domestic violence, or stay a measure 11 for whatever, for a violent crime, for beating this guy. I don't know. Long story short, I don't know any woman that would provoke another man to wrath, especially one like me that was sitting there taking care of her kids and dealing with all the incidentals. I didn't do a damn thing wrong. Investigated by CPS. I said, that's crap. I said, what for what? I said literally, and I don't know why I was the only one getting investigated. Come to find out, Angela ended up getting some underage boys there that were, there was some charges that were filed. You know what I mean? Whatever. I don't care. But what I do care about is you stealing my identity and then having me railroaded in the process, and then basically having me gang stalked. So every time I leave my house, you have people break into my home, and then you also have people follow me. Now, I'm getting real tired of this shit. And I tell you what, I pity the fool that I grab by the collar and drag his ass down to City Hall and go, arrest this little fuck. He's been following me around all week. You know what I mean? It's not a big secret. No, it's just a secret society, right? The elites, right? How about a living sacrifice? That's a ridiculous name, huh?